All right, ChatGPT has already replaced my therapist, but it might be replacing 2 other of my doctors. AI really is coming for our jobs.
Okay, so let's go here again because we're talking about ChatGPT a lot. So give me the last time you talked to ChatGPT and used it as a therapist. What was the question and was the advice solid?
As a therapist, I will say I haven't needed to talk to it as a therapist recently. I will say it's been my business manager and graphic designer this last week. It has been handling some business things for me, some graphic needs that I've not been able to do myself. So really ChatGPT is kind of a one-stop shop for everything. It can
really
talk me off a ledge.
Every graphic designer, it just went like,
I'm sorry.
I am so concerned about what the future looks like when it comes to AI, man. I told you guys I've had this conversation too many times with my kids. Like when you're trying to think of your career, you got to look 5 years ahead now and ask yourself, is this something that AI is going to be able to do? And I'm telling you what, you know who's going to get paid in 5 years? Plumbers. Guys, no, seriously. It's guys and women that can use their hands, the mechanics. You can't replace that kind of thing. But, you know, I got one son that wants to be in performing arts, and look at the way AI is helping out and cutting budgets in that area. I got another son that wants to do sports marketing. Look at how AI is doing that. Be a plumber.
yeah, trade work is where it's at.
Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe don't go to medical school. If your parents are like, hey, we really want you to get a good job, cut out doctor, because ChatGPT has seriously given me life-changing medical advice that I'm really disappointed that my doctors didn't communicate to me. So a little backstory on my health history. The last couple of years, and I've talked about this on the radio before, I was having some really weird health struggles that were kind of showing up in the form of unexplained weight gain. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I'm like, I'm eating 1,000 calories a day. All of it is coming from protein, 0 carbs, a workout 4 times a day. Like, I don't understand how this is happening. And it just was so mind-boggling to me and so frustrating to me that like I couldn't figure out how to get my body to work properly. So I was like, you know what? I'll go to all these doctors and I'll do all these tests and I'll figure out what's happening, and they're going to give me the solution and they'll give me some medication to figure it out, and I'll be able to tackle this and we're going to get a handle on this problem I've been dealing with. So I go to a naturopath. They do all the tests. They run all the things. They weigh you. They do the body scan, and they do all these things to try and figure out what's wrong with you. I remember being so disappointed leaving that follow-up doctor appointment where they were just like, yeah, your cholesterol is really high, but that's about it. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm like, how is my cholesterol high? All I do is eat salad every day. So then I was frustrated. I'm like, genetics, so stupid.
Well, you said you're eating a lot of protein also.
Well, I mean, a reasonable amount of protein, not like a crazy amount of protein. You know, a healthy, balanced diet. Think of like what nutritionists tell you to eat. That's what I'm eating.
What are they considering? What are they considering high cholesterol?
It was ridiculously high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh, maybe there is actually a problem here. So then I was like, maybe there's a deeper issue. But I'm like, that's all you're leaving me with is some red yeast pills to take, and that's it. Like, that's the only thing. Like, there is no way. Like, I have done every crazy diet. I have taken every supplement. I've run through the TikTok gamut of trying to figure out what's wrong with me and trying to figure out how to solve it on my own. And finally, I go to the doctor. I'm like, and the doctor is just telling me to take red yeast. What is happening? So I ended up taking my lab results and I put them into ChatGPT a year ago.
Great idea.
Literally. And what it told me was so obvious and so frustrating that I'm like, my doctor just threw a pill at me and didn't explain how this was affecting some of my weight issues or some of the things that I've been feeling for the last 10 years of my life.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, but yeah.
Yeah. So not to hate on the doctors, like they're trying their best, but I was a little frustrated by this. But I've been anemic my whole life, but I take an iron pill, and like that's all I've done is, take the iron pill and move on with life. And my iron has been normal for the last, couple of years or whatever. Well, your iron can be normal, but there's something called ferritin, which is like your iron stores, which it basically makes you feel like you're iron deficient. And what happens is your ferritin also affects how your thyroid works. It affects how you're able to burn fat. So if your ferritin levels are low, like you will burn muscle instead of fat if you're in a calorie deficit. And I'm like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. The fact that like all I do is lift weights and eat protein, but yet like I'm gaining weight. Like my body doesn't have the oxygen it needs to be able to like function properly. So your thyroid test can come back normal, but it can still affect the way that I work. I don't know the science. ChatGPT figured it out. So basically I had to like up my iron from whatever I was taking a day, 15 a day to like 65 a day. And I've lost probably 20 or 25 pounds the last year.
Really?
Just from fixing my labs. It's insane. And none of my doctors have told me this.
And the rest of your labs look good, even though that the weight is off and that's what you were going for. But health-wise, the rest of the labs look great?
Yeah, they're just like, your cholesterol's high. And she mentioned, she's like, your iron's a little low, so just like up it a little bit. But what frustrated me is I walked into that doctor appointment and I said, like, I'm putting on all this weight and I don't get it. Like, all I do is work out. Like, I should be freaking Bella Hadid right now. And she was like, yeah, your iron's a little low, so just up your iron. So it's not like she didn't say anything. But my doctor should have been able to look at my labs and said, oh, hey, by the way, your iron and ferritin is low. That actually has a direct effect on your thyroid and the ability for you to be able to recover from workouts. So I was doing all these workouts and getting nothing from it because my body couldn't recover properly. I felt exhausted. I couldn't wake up in the morning. I didn't get it because everything looks fine. And it turns out all I need to do is eat a little bit more red meat, a little more vitamin C, and pop an iron pill. And here I am, skinny legend.
It still doesn't, I mean, we don't need to get in the weeds on this, but it still doesn't help the cholesterol problem?
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do about that. But anyway, but also, and then again, I recently did another doctor appointment. I'm like, I still kind of feel a little off, even though my iron's a little bit better. Turns out I got low blood pressure. Not a single doctor has brought that up to me, but my labs from my last report from a couple of weeks ago, I got low blood pressure. And apparently I seem to eat a ton of sodium.
Dang. Yeah, AI is changing everything, man.
It's crazy.
It really is changing
it's amazing
everything.
how it's better.
The Bert Show.